Hey, welcome back. That was a great session, Christian. Good,
Thank you.
good discussions.
And valuable insight and advice from my panelists.
Yeah,
Learning and sharing, getting
yeah,
more effective and efficient. I think I'll start tomorrow.
yeah. I think we got a number of core statements that we're going to be able to use in our next posts. Anything that's not touching revenue is dead, or something to that effect from Autumn. Everyone liked that.
Yep.
So good. We've been together a day and a half with all the participants. I want to thank you for hanging in there. Hey, Balan,
Hi, hello.
how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Great. We've been together. So it's been a day and a half that we've been together with everybody on the call. We appreciate all of your time and really great chat. I don't know if everyone realized this, but there were actually quite a few. I'm just looking at my chat here. Okay. There were quite a few comments in chat. Typically, when people have webinars, there are maybe 2 or 3 different people who make an odd comment here or there. We actually had 50% of the participants commenting over the course of the last day and a half. So it shows, I think, that the topic is timely and interesting, and we got a lot of feedback on our speakers. Being very roll up your sleeves and appropriate for discussing the commercial value of this and the operational value. So thank you. What did you all think? What are some of the key takeaways that you had? Kristen, do you want to start?
Yeah, one of my most stunning extracts from yesterday was, it's not about technology. We're all in technology industry, high tech industry, working with vendors or with companies in the tech industry. But the key to success is not the level of quality of the software, not features, function, bits and bytes. It's changing the mindset, changing the attitude, changing the culture, which is very interesting. I think it's the most powerful thing that we all need to consider, making that shift and trying to see to get that into the corporate DNA. The second part was something I have been experiencing a couple of times during my tenure being a salesperson. The biggest competition. For me, my learning is, in addition to my usually biggest competition that I know, usually the biggest competition is the older version of the software you're trying to sell. But in that case, I would also add the biggest competition is the customer themselves.
Explain that.
Processes, their fight and struggle for digesting what you're telling them or what you're trying to solve for them. So it's really the complexity within the customer for decision making, for mapping all the value, which gets me to the point, you need to be more effective and powerful in making the pitch to deliver that value, and also connecting to the very essence of the customer situation. And I think Autumn brought that up very, very exclusive in her participation in the roundtable before. It's all about mapping to revenue, making the short line and short connection into what impact on the revenue that will be. And the last one, also something not related to processes or stuff like that. It's doing the right things. And I really loved Anton yesterday when he said, saying no to things that you have been doing for a while just because of doing things. You need to say no to really focus on the essence of what you're supposed to do and where the money is. So that, I think, is definitely one interesting learning that, of course, I know it somewhere deep, but it's getting back to the surface. get rid of those things that you're not supposed to do, get others in who are the specialists, the experts. And this is also maybe the foundation for expanding and growing through partnering.
Yeah, to your point about really getting to the point, this is all about revenue. Getting that revenue requires a joint proposition. And I liked that the speakers all talked about breaking this down into smaller parts. Don't feel you have to boil the ocean.
Yeah.
Find a project quickly that you can work on. And one of my takeaways was clearly get to a closed, successful deal as fast as possible without you losing quality.
Yeah.
Because that success and that excitement is going to help with the mindset change and help with driving the desire to want to repeat this.
Definitely.
Yeah. Balint, do we have birds on the call?
It's not me. I don't have. No birds here. No birds here. Unfortunately, outside. Yeah. Maybe I've taken the wrong pills. Maybe. No. I don't know where it is coming from. I hear it as well. But it's coming also from my loudspeaker. I don't know what it can be. Is it very disturbing, or can we go on?
No, go on. Yeah, Jan and the backyard team with StreamYard will do some magic, I'm sure.
I understand. Okay, I was just looking for here some earplugs, but I don't have them. Nonetheless, so you're interested more, I think, on that my takeaways.
Yeah, what did you think?
I think a couple of things shocked me really. So and I was just thinking on this a little bit, playing with the words, an ecosystem and an ecosystem. So I think this is what the most of the key takeaway is, that you have to be very careful that you are not trying to make the ecosystem an ecosystem.
Mhm.
And that's what we discussed yesterday on the lunch break, being having more trust in each other, and where this trust can come from, and how we can increase this trust. And I think this has something with that also, not to be selfish. But more on that, I started my sales career at the time being at IBM, and what touched me just shockingly, as I've heard, I think Vince saying that the selling is a team sport, right?
Mhm.
So nothing that is that we have to get rid of this heroic type of sales methodology. This picture touched me, as he described it, that it comes from that in the ancient times the hero came home with the half of the calf, and then he was celebrated and so on, and he was the one who was successful from the whole tribe. And today we have to get rid of it if we want to go into the direction of ecosystems. And this is, again, not to be selfish, not to not wanting to get all the credits alone, but to share this. And this is what touched me very much. So I think there are a lot of companies and individuals as well. They have to rethink that. And we're coming back again to the Christian's takeaway of the mindset, right? So that's the alpha and the omega, I think. And maybe the second one was and I feel it also on my own skin, very very often, to have not the skill gaps, right? That you want to deliver a project, or at least participate in a bid, and you realize that you don't have all of the puzzles, they fit together, and you don't have all of the skills what you need. And I think that lots of the initial intention is to get into ecosystems from lots of companies, people, is that they hope more leads. But I think I think again, that was from John, I think, what he mentioned, that the ecosystems primarily is for that you can quickly close the skill gaps, in fact. So because acquiring skills, you can do it in two ways. You educate someone, this takes ages of times, or you hire someone from outside, and it can take also very long, and the success is not guaranteed, and it can cost you a fortune, right? But within the ecosystems, to get together these people, that's marvelous to close the skill gap.
Yeah, it was interesting. I remember when I was talking with Anton, and he said that he's grown the company from 50 people to 300 people. And I said to him, nobody can find any resources, because you have them all, obviously. And he said, no. He said, we, acquired companies and partnered up in order to get to that number. So I think that's a very real example of how that's being done in order to compensate for the shortages that we're seeing globally right now.
There are lots of bits what you cannot take opportunities what you cannot enter because, and this is another aspect, because of simply of your size, right? They say a company who would like to, or a customer, let's say, you're too small. And this is even getting these skills. This increases the virtual size, the virtual weight, but the physical weight, the virtual size and the physical weight of your proposal, your company. So I think it's a huge opportunity for everyone.
That's interesting because that also plays into your overall brand and reputation. Because if you are a smaller company or a newer company to market, but you have a specialized skill or a needed skill, sort of like with Alinea Partners, we have entrepreneurs that come in and work on projects. And, starting a new company, maybe the brand awareness or reputation isn't out there, but joining a company that is 16 years old and, has a number of people who have been in the industry a long time and clients, et cetera, that makes everyone that's part of the ecosystem look bigger and, with more time in market and bigger clients and that they can talk to. And that just, works for companies that are also bigger than we are. That's a good point. We hadn't talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that again, it's my personal experience. So we work together. So if I say I work together with Alinea Partners, right? And this is a completely different aspect. If I say yes, I'm going go there without my ecosystem, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Do we have any questions that are coming up? I don't know. Do we have anything in chat? Good. Then maybe just a few more things that I've seen. You mentioned mindset shift. I think we'd be absolutely remiss if we didn't talk about, or we didn't address that trust was a theme in nearly every single conversation. We had discussions about it in how to, create documents and contracts. We had discussions about it in how people interact with each other and how people interact with companies. And it's very clear that if we go into this and act transparently and open, then there's a proof point almost and experiences and use cases that everybody talked about for the last day and a half that said, if you do this, then that is going to be one of the differentiators for you. One of the reasons that people will continue to work with you, continue to partner with you. So mindset shift, but keeping trust and at the forefront of that. The other is definitely get to a deal as quickly as possible without losing quality. Success breeds success. And that's going to be a big contributor. And then the last thing I noticed is I kind of call it love yourself. Okay. There are a lot of things that our businesses, we think we're moving too quickly. We've got a lot to do with customers. We've got tons of projects. And so a lot of the basics don't get taken care of all the time. The cobbler's children go without shoes. So if you're thinking about partnering with another company, get that business check, that health check. Make sure that your buying processes or your buying experiences are good. Make sure you've really looked at your portfolio and pulled out every possible upsell, lifecycle management sell, new products that you have the capabilities to bring in, or identify those that you don't have the capabilities, but if you bring them in, your customers want them. And ensure that your data is in order. That was a big conversation before you move into partner, because then you won't have as many challenges along the way. Is one of the things that I definitely took away from it. So I think that would be good for any company. And particularly if you're looking to partner, that's probably the first, order of business. Is your house in order?
Cleaning the house.
Clean your house. Yeah, there you go.
Definitely.
Yeah, and in doing that, you can uncover gems that you've not been selling or marketing, and you can uncover problems that you can fix and improve, efficiency, scaling, et cetera. Because if you do plan to partner to scale, it can take off really quickly, as we heard. So the cleaner your house is, the better opportunity you have to move forward.
I would even add to cleaning the house, making an inventory.
There you go.
And getting a kind of good understanding what is in my house. Roughly 3 years ago, I was working with a partner on an assessment, and he told a very funny story. In order to better understand and build their social media strategy, they did some inventory kind of activity internally, and it was interesting to see for them to identify or to uncover that they have those hidden gems that you were mentioning, Leanne, already in the house. They ran through the development department, and they figured out they had 2 people being the number 1 in their specific developer category, the number 1 expert in Twitter on the community platforms for the specific development area. So they had those gems already in place that were an asset that was not really fully utilized. So I think in addition to cleaning the house and tidy things up, sorting out outdated processes, ensuring things are ripe and ready for scale or agility, identifying those gems definitely something that you could and definitely will need to build that value that you need for assessing and matching the values, as we heard yesterday, the values, if they are compatible, and what's on both sides, that really get the equation from 1 + 1 is 4, maybe instead of 3.
Well, I think Bob said as well. What was one thing what I noted is that about the data, that you think you need to collect data, but you have a lot of anything what you do generates data, and you have a lots of data. And this is about these hidden gems, right? These are not really so hidden. And then if you talk about hidden gems, then you associate with little things. They are there somewhere in the shelf, and you don't realize that they are there. But there are a huge amount of data, as Bob has also said, what you can use, and which is surprising that it lies just in front of your eyes, and you can make use of it. That was also one interesting point, and it's a good connection to that what you are saying, Christian, I think.
Yeah. Good. So do we have any comments in chat? There we go. So from Xenia, welcome. So success breeds success. Yes, Yes, it's definitely true. Not only it just motivates everybody to want to continue working together and to continue having that success. So we all know what that feels like. Good. So I think we'll wrap it up. And I have to tell you, we will have a replay for 72 hours for everyone who is already registered. So if there's anything you haven't seen yet, please feel free to do that. And if there's any session that you'd like to revisit, you can do that as well. And then we will have a replay available for the next year. But it will be a paid-for model, not a lot of money, but a little bit, just to take care of some of the production costs. And the benefit of that is that we will be adding new interviews. So a lot of the questions and comments that came up in chat let us know, gave us the information around what was really valuable to everyone who participated and what they wanted to know more about. So we're going to go out and source speakers who can address those specific topics and keep adding them to the platform or the community, the Alinea Partners Evolving Channels community. So thank you, Christian. Thank you, Balint, for helping me get through all the different conversations. Again, thank you to our speakers and our sponsors, and especially to all of our participants. Really enjoyed having you here. Really enjoyed the conversations both on and offline, and look forward to having more of them. You can always connect with any of us on LinkedIn, or you can send us an email at customer.experience@alinea-partners.com, or just give us a call. Numbers on the website. Thank you very much. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank you.